And moving on to our last speaker for this session, please welcome Brian Selzer, co-founder of Ogmento.
Thank you, Ori. Is this on? Am I on? Yes. Hi, everybody. Let me get this running. Is this? There we go. Just get that in play. Aha. Sorry, guys. Is that working? Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Selzer. And a very similar theme going on here. It was great to listen to the previous talks. I think it's nice to know we're all kind of on the same track and pushing the brand engagement forward and thinking about this in similar ways, and it's a very exciting area. So I'm Brian Selzer, co-founder of Ogmento. Ori and I go back in that history. I've been doing digital and mobile media for a long time, 15 plus years. Have worked with lots of brands, lots of entertainment companies, studios, game companies, launched Marvel's mobile business, so it was great to see what Marvel's doing in the augmented reality space today. And coming from the games background, entertainment background, really my focus is on creating engaging content. Content is king, as was mentioned earlier, and having that be something that's so compelling that the brands just want to be involved. So this is a similar slide that I've showed in the past. My slides are on SlideShare if you want to check those out. And the world is the platform is a phrase that actually is being used a lot this year, which is great. And this is something that at Ogmento we've been talking about for a while, which is really to think about moving beyond just your intimate smartphone engagement into the world and using the triggers of the environment as the content experience. And these three things are really sort of that magic formula where you're taking geosocial, there's a mobile term called SoloMo, social, local, mobile, taking the power of that where everything around you is contextual, combining it with games, gamification, if you will, which are the kinds of fun interactions that people like to do that can actually motivate people and drive them towards your brand. And of course, the AR computer vision aspects of visualizing and seeing the world in a different way. The combination of these three things, I think, is really the key. And you're seeing this theme be talked about a little bit here. So it's great to see us move forward there. I also got a couple of case studies for you. At Ogmento, we launched last year around October a campaign around Halo 4. And more recently, we launched a little fun digital character product called OBOTO. So those use and are built to combine these three principles. So let me talk about those a little bit. So Halo 4, the console game came out, and Pepsi was involved in sponsoring that game, and along with 7-Eleven. So you can see sort of a similar theme here where the idea is to drive people into locations, to engage with brands, all in the form of a game, something that's fun and compelling, and use augmented reality in that mix as well. So with that, we put together a campaign. We'll see if these videos run. This was really the video, a video of what we pitched for the idea. So this isn't actual in-game footage, but this is just conceptualizing our idea. And the idea was to really drive people into a 7-Eleven. In the Halo 4 King of the Hill game, it's the idea of sort of a turf capture mechanic where the 7-Elevens became territories that you wanted to capture and own as a Spartan character in this Halo game. And to do that, to capture that hill, you had to fuel up using Doritos and Mountain Dew product. So we were, the clients were very impressed, and not only did we get people into the 7-Elevens, which is always a trick of getting people off the couches and actually moving into a location, but they were, I think it was over 90% of the people that went into the 7-Eleven, of the players went into the 7-Eleven, were actually picking up the products, the Doritos bags and the Mountain Dew products, and focusing on them and looking at these products, engaging with them, which was fueling them up and giving them more status on this territory play. So it was map-based. You could see the local 7-Elevens around you. You scan the products. You did this little mini battle. Of course, the prizes are always a great motivator. So in this, we actually were unlocking codes that you could use back into the Halo console game to unlock rare helmets and experience points and things like that. So it was a great success. Over a 3-month campaign, had over 300,000 players. When we actually shut the campaign down, we had players saying, "Why'd you turn it off? I had so much fun just playing this territory game." And that's the type of experience that you really want. There's a lot of talk at this conference, which is exciting, about wearables, and I think, just from a design standpoint, we're creating these brand engagement experiences where you think about where this is all going, and I think it'll be wise for people to really design in a way where you are thinking about heads-up displays and moving into that territory. So, things like having floating images and over stores and things like that, I think is going to be something you're going to start to see in the near future as the technology supports that. OBOTO is a small little project, sorry about that, small little project that we launched just earlier this year, which was really to test the waters with more advanced augmented reality and tracking, and the idea of having a little digital character that could evolve potentially with brand integration as well. Just to give you a little background, this is a Coca-Cola video that I think has been out since like 2009, and it was really served as sort of inspiration for myself in a world that I'd love to see, of course this was science fiction 2000, in the early 2000s. Now all of us here at this conference, I think you can look at this and think, oh, that will probably come to be a reality in my lifetime. I'd love to build something like that. And so, I see all these virtual characters walking around and interacting with, in the physical world, and I think, we're moving towards that at a pretty fast pace. Those are the kinds of worlds I love, thinking about and building. And so that was sort of, the idea of digital characters in the physical world is not a new idea in augmented reality. We've seen this since we had the fiducial markers and the glyphs. And there's been some pretty cool things with, dancing girls. There was a lot of dancing virtual girlfriend stuff coming out of Japan. In the early Ogmento days, we were actually the first to really break away from the markers with this little doobie character and have digital characters that were existing via your mobile device on printed materials. Which is we're seeing a lot of today. And you've got your OBOTO character there who's sort of just saying, hey, I'm here in the real world existing without the markers. And that, I think, is the goal, is to really get these experiences to be where you don't require any kind of printouts or materials, but it just is there existing in natural street environments with the infrastructure that you can trigger off of this. So my one wearable slide, I think, is exciting to see us moving from this sort of unnatural, holding up your hand and looking through your phone. It's fine for taking pictures. If you want a very long augmented reality experience, it's not very natural. So, I laugh at the Apple patent of sliding the phone into the glasses, but that's really what we want to do, that instinctively. And so we are moving into an era where we have these wearables coming into the market, and that's just going to open up a huge amount of potential and free us up to do so many more exciting things. The Meta glasses using the 3D depth sensing camera is truly going to be a breakthrough, I think, in being able to deliver these kind of products. As far as commercial viability, I threw in some fictional glasses there because I think the gamers and the geeks are going to, maybe wear some nerdy eyewear. But once we get a pair of eyewear that is just, looks like fashion, I think this is really going to start to break out in a big way commercially. And we're also looking at new types of technology, cutting-edge augmented reality technologies that go beyond natural feature tracking off of magazines and printed materials, but literally using the world as the platform where natural surfaces, the stage, the auditorium are the trackable places to put this media. And so as it moves there, that's just going to open up many more possibilities with content and being able to immerse that. So with OBOTO in particular, this video that's running now is just a little promotional video that we put together to promote the application that's free in the App Store. If you have an iPhone, feel free to check it out. It does highlight the advanced tracking. We used a sort of a homography approach, which is in the SLAM world, where you have zero initialization. And I think, there was a note about having the technology just be invisible. I think that's key. Today in this world, you have to do some training and a little bit of scanning with your device to understand the environment. That to me is a little bit too early unless you do that in a very entertaining way. I believe you just need to be able to, whether it's your wearables or your smartphone device, just tap and drop in the character instantly and have it track and just work. Having, of course, from the content standpoint, having an animated personality, something you can interact with, and all the types of interaction you're going to be doing with a digital character in an augmented reality space or in the physical world is a whole new discipline, opens up a lot of opportunities for designers. For this particular app, for the first version, we decided to make it a photo, video sharing type of application. We really wanted to learn from it, and we thought it would be engaging for people to just make little home movies of this robot in their environment and be able to share that with friends, and you can see some samples of that. These are actual in-app videos that were taken just to show the tracking off of just natural features. The zero I touched on these already. The zero initialization, understanding just surfaces and objects around you. In the future, things like occlusion, where the characters can actually walk behind the podium and out in front of this podium, for example, are really going to bridge the, or make it seamless, where it seems like these characters are truly in the world with us, and through these augmented reality or computer vision technologies, as I say, that is just around the corner. And that's going to be really great to see. And opportunities with digital characters, since I've been focused on digital characters for a while, it's really pretty unlimited, and you can think about everything from tour guides and physical fitness coaches and mascots and teachers, gaming, of course, clearly, and just little digital companions. There's so much you can do in this world, and I think you're going to see brands jump into this bandwagon in a big way. There's something about interacting with a character that has a personality that is just much more engaging than looking at stats and numbers. There's the whole quantified self movement now with wearables, and you're tracking how much you're running and your heart rate and things like that. I think it would be much more interesting if you actually had a physical character that was by your side and sort of taking you through this journey. So I think we're going to start seeing a trend into that area. And just to bring the brands part back into it, there's so much potential with this type of world where via location, where you are, via interaction with brands as triggers, images, there's the idea of having unlockables and upgrades and coupons, whether they're in-game or whether they're real rewards, for free taco or something like that. So I think that association of some kind of cool content with the brand interaction or the location interaction is really going to be a big area to focus on. And so some final thoughts, and repeating a few thoughts that we've heard at this conference, which is great, is the places, the things, the natural surroundings will be the triggers for this interaction. So not just printed materials. This is going a little bit forward from where we are today. The text should be invisible. It shouldn't be about the technology. It should be about the content. What I'm talking about here hopefully will be leading edge and not bleeding edge. You don't want to be to a place where it just doesn't work and people are struggling with it. You want to be right on the cusp of leading edge, and that's a very fine line, so you have to be very careful there. And we are moving into a wearables world, so I think those that are thinking outside the smartphone box, that are thinking about how do you engage in the real world, are going to be the innovators and the designers that will be in demand moving forward. With that, I thank you, and I encourage you to contact me, reach out to me if you're interested in building these worlds or connecting in any way. Please feel free to contact me, and thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. And that concludes our session on engaging brand engagement. Next session is here at 11:30 for Connected Play. See you later.